What's up, all you legends? Welcome to part 12 of our Radical Red 4.0 walkthrough. We are currently in Celadon City, one of the most important cities in the entire game. I shared so much important info in the last video. Here we're at the game corner. I just want to show you all the amazing TMs you can buy here. This is why early on in the series I told you to do some nugget farming to get a ton of money. Because look, there's about 15 or 20 awesome TMs you can buy here. And also, here are some of the Pokemon you can buy. All these really strong, awesome Pokemon. And you can buy all of these as shiny Pokemon as well, for more money, obviously. So if you have a ton of money, come and buy every TM, buy a few Pokemon in shiny form, add them to your team. They are really, really strong. In the last video, I shared so much information for you. Once you make it here to Celadon and Saffron City, which we'll go to next, you can pretty much do everything a lot easier from this point on. You can do EV training, make your Pokemon stronger. You can evolve a lot of the Pokemon. It's a lot easier. You don't have to just battle Pokemon in the wild to train. So here we met a man. He's a gambler. We're in the gambling den. You can bet any amount of money. And it's a metronome battle. So metronome is an attack. You select it and it chooses any of the hundreds of Pokemon attacks at random. So basically, you both just click metronome the entire battle and hope that you cause enough damage and you select an attack that can knock out other Pokemon. So it's just basically a form of gambling. It is quite fun though. You might make a ton of money. It does take a lot of time though. It's quite a timely gamble, because you could just use metronome and just cause no damage for 10 or 20 turns if you're unlucky. But it is quite a fun way to battle, see some of the attacks you maybe haven't seen before. And if you're lucky and you end up beating his whole team, you'll win the cash prize. So I just selected, I think, 10,000 Pokecoins in this little match. So if I win, I make 10,000. If I lose 10,000. I currently don't have all that much money, so I actually need to go back to Pewter City. And I need to do some nugget farming, because I do want to come and buy a Pokemon or two. I need to buy a ton more TMs. And we're going to have to do some EV training in the future, so I'm going to need a lot of money. I want to try to get a lot of my Pokemon's stats to perfect. I think that'll make things a lot easier moving forward from here. So I'm going to have to spend about an hour or two just farming nuggets and selling them. If I can get 500 or 600k, it will be really helpful. At least I will be able to buy all these things that I need. And then just going forward, it'll be that much more easy. In the last video, we did beat Erica. She was a tough battle, but it took me about 10 to 12 attempts. Nothing as difficult as Surge. But in today's video, we're going to explore the game corner and just try and discover Team Rocket's hideout. I believe we may encounter Giovanni in this video if we have time. We're going to see how this video goes. But Giovanni is supposedly one of the strongest people in the entire game. And I believe you battle him a few times throughout the game. Twice or maybe 3 times. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely more than once. So, I'm a bit anxious to encounter Giovanni. But my Pokemon are a lot stronger now than before. I evolved a lot of them. I just need to evolve my Gloom into Vileplume. But everyone else has evolved, and then my Axew, I think he's gonna be able to evolve into his final form, Haxorus, relatively quickly as well. And my Ursaring has still has to evolve into Ursaluna. In the previous video, I think it was video 9, I kept calling Ursaring's evolution Lunala. So please excuse that, it's Ursaluna, not Lunala. I said it multiple times. But I'm trying to get the Blood Moon version of Ursaluna. So I just need to research how I can get it, or if it just evolves into that by itself. I might have to get the Hisuian version, which I don't have, so I need to find out if there's a way to change it to a Hisuian version, or if there's some item I need to use to evolve it into the Blood Moon type. But Ursaluna seems to be pretty strong. I have tried to read up a bit on the Giovanni battle, and I think he has a lot of the big, strong ground and fighting type Pokemon. Like he's got Nidoking, Kangaskhan. He's got some of the really big ones. So I've also read that you probably gonna want some Pokemon with psychic attacks. You're gonna need Pokemon with ground attacks like Earthquake and Dig. And it will also be helpful if you have Pokemon with ice attacks. So just keep that in mind. If you don't have Pokemon with any of those, you might be in for a bit of a battle. But like I said, you have the game corner with all those TMs. So if you got some money, buy a whole bunch of TMs. Now might be a good time to teach all your Pokemon some new attacks. Get better suited attacks for all your Pokemon. And do more training, explore the area, see what other Pokemon are about. There are some awesome ones nearby. And you can also change some of your stats now at this point. So if any of your Pokemon are lagging, or if you've got a Pokemon that's just really weak, like not even a 1 or 2 star, if you just caught a random Pokemon in the wild, now might be a time to upgrade its stats, slowly increase its stats one by one. You can make them perfect. It is expensive, but now you can do that. So if you are struggling, or if you do struggle with Giovanni, you can start improving and strengthening your whole team. It's a way easier from this point. I am going to try and buy an ice attack from the game corner, because that's where I'm lacking. I don't think I have many ice attacks in my team. I'm not sure if any of my Pokemon can actually use any ice attacks. So I think after this, if I win, I'm going to use the money and go buy an ice attack. And hopefully at least one of my Pokemon will be able to use it. Just in case, it might be useful during Giovanni. But I do have a lot of ground attacks, like that's not a problem. And I've got Elgium for psychic attacks. Maybe you're gonna want a ghost Pokemon. So Gengar would be a good Pokemon to have in your team for psychic attacks. We're gonna have to see when we encounter him. If he is more difficult than Surge, then man, it's gonna take me an entire day to beat him, because Surge was my toughest battle yet. But yeah, as you saw, my Pokemon were all wrong in the beginning. Okay, so I beat this guy. Can you believe it? So I got 10,000. I think I might have enough to buy a TM here, so let's just see what Ice TMs there are. Okay, second one, Ice Beam, 30,000, purchased. Okay, hopefully one of our Pokemon can use our spin. But I think we've spoken to everyone here. We need to get a coin case in order to gamble. Now, you need to come to this rocket guy by the poster, battle him. And I believe behind him on the wall is a poster. You click on it and there's a switch that reveals the staircase. All these Team Rocket Raticates are so annoying because they have quite strong attacks, especially for some of my Pokemon. And it seems almost every single Rocket Grunt has Raticates, so they're just constantly doing a decent amount of damage each time. So I'm assuming I'm going to have to be healing quite a lot, especially for the Pokemon in the beginning of my lineup. It seems like they're not too strong against the Raticate types. Okay, but we beat him. There is a switch behind. So click on the switch and then the staircase will reveal. We can heal our Pokemon with the Pokeball, so just keep that in mind. I think I'm going to swap Celadon and Bastiodon, just because Celadon is just getting a lot of damage from Raticates. So I'm going to try battle every single Rocket Grunt here, because I believe there are some items to pick up. I don't really need the experience all that much, but I do want to try reach the level cap before we fight Giovanni, otherwise we are going in at a disadvantage. So if I can battle as many guys as possible to get all my Pokemon to the level cap, then we're good. There is a little maze or two coming up that you also have to work through. And I believe we've got to try and make our way to the elevator. There's an elevator key card that you need to use the elevator, but the only way to get to Giovanni is by using the elevator. So we've got to battle all these Rocket Grunts to see who's got the key card for the elevator. And then after Giovanni, I believe we can make our way to Lavender Town and then into Saffron City. We haven't been into Saffron City yet. I think the next one is Saffron, I could be wrong. But in there, we also battle Giovanni again. There is a gym leader. I think it's Bruno, the fighting type. We can battle, earn a gym badge. And I think you can battle him twice. You battle him to get the gym badge, and then later on, once you beat the Elite Four, I think, or maybe before the Elite Four, you can come back and battle him again, and he gives you a choice of 2 Pokemon. So that's pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, in Saffron, we'll fight Giovanni again a second time. We got the gym leader, clear that city out. And then we've got our bicycle that we picked up in Cerulean City. We'll go all the way west and down to the next city where Koga is. I think the last 2 gym leaders after Bruno is Koga, the bug type Pokemon gym leader, and then Sabrina. I think we just got Sabrina. She's the Psychic type. And there's one more on Cinnabar Island, Blaine, the Fire type. So I think my Pokemon currently are pretty strong against most of those types. I've got a lot of ground attacks. So I'm hoping the rest of it's going to be fairly easy, except Giovanni might be a bit of a challenge, but the rest, I think I should have under wraps. The worst is probably over. That is until we reach the Elite Four, though. I'm not sure how I'm going to beat the Elite Four with no items. When I played this game before, I was able to use items. So I'm not sure if in this new version they changed normal mode to blocking items. Or I'm not sure if I just clicked a setting wrong or something when I opened the game. Because even now when I'm battling um, people. I can't use any items in the big major boss battles. So I think the Elite Four is going to be crazy tough because you have to beat all four people and then your rival, I believe. And yeah, it's just, oof, it's going to be tough. So that's going to be a treat to look forward to at the end game. Okay, a lot of my Pokemon are leveling up and earning experience. I think the level cap might be level 46 or 47. So we're coming along. Fracture wants to evolve, but I think we're going to hold him off. It would help if we really struggle against Giovanni to evolve him, but I want to hold off on evolving him for now. So now, here's the little maze thing. You have to look where the arrows take you. Try to pick up all the items, and then try and make it through the maze to the lower section. It's pretty straightforward. It's not confusing at all. Just look where the arrows throw you towards and look where the landing mats are. I can see another Pokeball below us, so I want to try and get all the items first. And then I'll try and make my way to the exit at the bottom. They are definitely one of the easier mazes. Lieutenant Surge's one was a bit tricky trying to find all the switches. You had like a 1 in 4 chance to get the right switch each time. But if you want to know about difficult mazes, wait until you play Pokemon Unbound. There is one of the craziest mazes that I've ever played, especially when you're in the Lost Zone with Giratina. Man, that can take you forever to get through that. So I think after we get through Radical Red 4.0, I may start a video series doing Pokemon Unbound. But yeah, that's a long game, so I'm not going to be uploading every day or second day. It's going to be a very slow walkthrough. I might do 2 or 3 videos, make some other content, come back to it. So it's gonna be released very slowly. Even for Radical Red, I've been pumping out videos, but I am gonna be slowing down a bit. I'm gonna try get to part 15 or so, and then yeah, I'm gonna have to slow down. I'm not gonna have as much time. But I'd love to make a Radical Red walkthrough and an Unbound walkthrough. I'm hoping that Unbound gets an update, because the last time it got an update was more than a year ago. And it's supposed to get an update almost every year around the December period. So it's strange that it hasn't. But I'm hoping by some chance that we'll get an update in the next month or 2. Then when I do make a series, it will be the latest updated version. And I'm also very curious to see what they add to the new version. I believe they can't add all the new Pokemon as Radical Red did, but they're going to add on more areas. Not 100% sure, nothing's confirmed, but that is an awesome game as well. So I'd love to do a walkthrough of Radical Red and Unbound. Those are probably my 2 favorite ROM hacks out. I also do I played it before this. I played Pokemon Emerald Crest, which was also really cool. Not a very long game or very complicated, but they added a lot of Pokemon into it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. Maybe I'll make that one too. But let me know in the comments which ROM hacks I should try out, or which ones you think are best. Also, don't have a lot of knowledge on a whole bunch of them. I remember about a year ago there was a ROM hack in process, and it was getting developed, but it wasn't very fun. It was all like old age and a new story with gave me Nat kind of vibes. Like Nat soldiers. So I'd like to see if that one's been finished or when that one is expected to finish. I'd like to play that one. But yeah, just let me know which ones I should try out. Also, Rocket Red is one I've never played, but apparently it's a classic where you play the normal Red game, but as a Team Rocket member. So you start off as a Rocket Grunt and you work your way up the ranks. And you can steal people's Pokemon and things. So that seems really, really cool as well. I might make a video on that instead after Unbound. But please let me know like your top 3 or top 5 ROM hacks in the comments, and then I can also look into them. It'll be quite helpful. So we did eventually get the key card for our elevator. Sorry, I've been waffling on again. Team Waffle over here. But I think we just got 1 or 2 more people to battle, and then we'll get to Giovanni. So I was a bit lost here trying to find out where to go, but we found another Rocket Grunt. Machoke is also a super cool Pokemon. The first time I played this, I believe I had like Machamp, Gengar, I had Mewtwo, Charizard. I had like all the fan favorites. So I've already played this game, I think, 3 times. I've only played it twice with the new 4.0 version. And then the first time I played it was the version before 3 point something. So I have played it a couple times and chosen different Pokemon and things. I remember I did catch most of the legendaries in the 3rd version. So, yeah, that's why my Pokemon might seem a bit strange to you. I'm just choosing different Pokemon that are more rare this time, more difficult to encounter, not really the super popular ones. Okay, so we got a rare candy. That's going to be helpful. Rare candies will evolve your Pokemon by 1 level. And that's what's nice. Even if you reach the level cap, I think you still can use rare candy, but then you're at risk of your Pokemon not obeying you. Okay, my Celadon has actually gotten really strong since he evolved. He has been one-shotting a lot of Pokemon. If you go back to the last video with Erika, Celadon cleaned out like all 8 of her trainers in the gym, all one-shotting every single one. So I'm pretty happy with Celadon. His defense is quite low, but I call him my sniper. I want to get his speed super full, max speed, and get his physical attack max. Max physical attack, max speed. He's going to be my one-shot killer, my samurai. Just going to send him out to one shot and knock everyone out. And normally I go with Pokemon with special attacks. I like that Celadon is going to be my physical attacker. But I do need to change a lot of my Pokemon's EVs. I haven't really been EV training them specifically how I want them. But when we can get to Saffron, I'll explain how to perfect your EV training for each Pokemon. That's why this game is so complex. There's so many different things you can consider. Like you have to catch the rare 3-star Pokemon with good RVs. You've got to train the EVs up how you want them. And you can still catch shiny versions of the Pokemon, so there's unique attacks to consider and abilities. For such an old little game, it's super complex and complicated. That's why it's definitely an awesome game. If you have kids that want to play it, definitely put it on easy for them, and they'll also have a blast. But if you're a bit older and looking for a bit of a challenge, keep it on normal. And if you beat normal a few times, then maybe try hardcore, but yeah, that's something else. My Ursaring is keeping up. My Ursaring's doing a lot of damage. I don't like that he's a normal type, because normal types normally get hit quite a lot. This guy's dropped the elevator key. So we got the key now. Remember, just take note it's that guy who has it. Now we can make our way to the elevator. And then hopefully see where the boss of all bosses are. I think we just have to work our way through this maze again to get to the bottom section. That's where the elevator was. And then we can go up to Giovanni. Okay, we're finally in the elevator. We're gonna go to the 4th floor. I just want to make sure all my Pokemon are healed and safe. I'm probably gonna save a few times, because I am anxious battling Giovanni. Okay, we found some calcium. It's pretty useful, and also you can sell it for a bit of money. It looks like these are Giovanni's last 2 bodyguards to get through. Hopefully when we beat them, this little door will open. But all these rocket grunts tend to have similar Pokemon, or Viper, or Zubat, or Gengar, Raticate. You can get through them, okay? Ursaring grew to level 47. So I think the level cap is 47. Must just see which of my Pokemon have not reached 47, if any. The Sandslash is quite a nightmare. And he knocked out my Gastrodon. Well, these rocket guys are annoying. They always do a lot of damage, or dig, or Hyper Fang, or use Super Fang, or something. And there's so many of them. But we will make easy work of them. Sure, he nearly knocked out my Behem as well. I think Behem's going to be crucial in my Giovanni battle. But with any gym leader or any big boss fight, you just need to get into rhythm. So you have to battle each gym leader 3, 4, 5 times if you don't beat them initially. You can then like swap your team around to suit their line out better. They can change and swap things around, but you kind of get a good idea after battling them a few times. You can always adjust which Pokemon you want to send out for their certain Pokemon with stronger attacks and that. So you need to battle them a couple times just to see what Pokemon they have, what order they generally send them out in, and which of your attacks are really effective against theirs. Once you get that all down to a T, then generally you can start beating them. So that's the process that I've been using. I first just try and see what are all their Pokemon, and then I try to work out which Pokemon I should use against theirs, and which attacks are more effective. And that takes you a few times to get to. Also, a lot of times your Pokemon just get one-shotted and like knocked out, so you have to think of different strategies. And I found that swapping out actually is very helpful. Like, normally I hate swapping out Pokemon, but in Radical Red it really helps to swap out Pokemon all the time, because all these opponents always swap theirs out as well. So if your Pokemon's at a weak disadvantage for types, just swap them out straight away. I found that's been very helpful. Okay, Fracture's trying to evolve. Should we keep him? Nah, let's cancel it. We unlocked the door, okay. So we're there, and here's Giovanni chilling on the couch like a boss. I think we need to save. I'm so curious to see what Pokemon he has. I think now is a great time to evolve Gloom. We need to get as little bonus strength as we can get. We got Vileplume, so that's awesome. and he's learning Sludge Bomb. I've just kind of kept Vileplume because I love his toxic attack. It can poison some Pokemon. So if I'm really struggling with the Pokemon I can't beat and I don't have a type advantage, I'll try poison it, and then at least slowly it will die over a few turns. But I do want to try swap Vileplume out. I don't think I'm going to keep him in my team for the lead 4, but I'll keep him on reserve. Okay, let's see, the big guy. Nidoking. Okay, I just want to explain, when I did battle him, I think it was the 12th time, I forgot to record. So I didn't catch the first battle with Nidoking, but I sent out my Behemoth. He hit me as about half health, and then I knocked his Nidoking out one shot with Psychic. And then the rest of the battle is after that. So he sent out Kangaskhan and this Earthworm dude. So I just missed the first Pokemon, but the rest of the battle I got in. I was so annoyed. I was finally beating him. I thought, oh no, I forgot to record. But luckily I've still got 90% of the battle. But yeah, I did knock out his Nidoking with the Psychic attack. One shot and I knocked him out, which was really good. So just remember, Psychic attacks first, Nidoking. The Honchkrow wasn't very difficult at all. The Earthworm guy wasn't too difficult, because the Earthworm guy is very weak to fire attacks. So if you have a strong fire attack against Earthworm guy, it should knock him out in one shot or so. I had a lot of problems with this Tauros. He was just one-shotting all my Pokemon because he uses Bulk Up and then he just becomes a beast. But then I learned about the strategy. I've got Celadon. When I use Clear Smog, it cancels out his Bulk Up. So every time he tries to Bulk Up, I cancel it out and it lowers his attack and his defense again. And I found that the more I do it, the more he does it. So I'm just slowly eating away his damage. As he uses Bulk Up, I cancel it. And that makes him want to use Bulk Up again to strengthen. So it was a slow process of trying to figure that out, but it was super useful. I was just clear smogging. He was using Bulk Up. I was hoping I'd be able to do this until he was knocked out, but when he got to lower health, I had to use Shadow Claw in hopes that I'd knock him out, because he did use an attack there, as you saw. So I did it, and I did knock him out. I think that was the game changer, because I was really struggling with Tauros. He was knocking out 3 or 4 of my Pokemon each time. So I got him out with a lot of my Pokemon intact. I did use my Celadon's one attack that boosts up my speed. So I tried to get my speed up super high that I could attack first for the last 2 Pokemon. My Flame Charge does a little bit of damage and then increases my speed. So with Tauros, I did Flame Charge, so my speed is through the roof at the moment. And I just needed to attack first because his Pokemon only had a little bit of health left. So we did beat him, finally. It took about 12 attempts. I got the Sylph Scope. That's gonna help us in Lavender Town. We can explore the spooky ghost tower, and the Sylph Scope will let us identify the ghost Pokemon now. If you go into Lavender Town before, you can't actually see any of the Pokemon. And on your way out, just be careful. There is one more Rocket Grunt. I didn't heal my Pokemon, and I encountered this guy. So if you only have like one Pokemon left and you're hanging in by a thread, try and heal before you run into this guy, because he might knock you out after all the struggle of beating Giovanni. The last guy might end up knocking out just because your Pokemon are so weak and half knocked out. Luckily, I still beat him, but just keep it in mind that there is one more guy when you're leaving. So yeah, if you go to the Lavender Town Tower, you'll encounter just ghosts, but it won't show you what Pokemon it is. So now with the Sylph Scope, we can actually go there, identify and battle all the Pokemon. A Psychic or Ghost Pokemon that I might want to add to my team. I've already got Ceruledge, which has evolved into half a Ghost type, so it's Ghost Fire, which I really like. I have tried to heal my Pokemon now, just in case there's any more surprise battles. I'm scared my rival comes out or something. But I just love Lavender Town. It's always been my favorite town, just with all the manga. And I love the classic music from Lavender Town. I think we're going to end it there, guys. Thanks for watching.